church knows someone whose children have or has children who have chosen to leave the church and a Christian life. This problem may feel like it's getting worse, but it's been going on since Eden. Parents have always asked the Lord to save their children. A woman whose daughter left the church after academy graduation asked some friends to pray for her. They prayed for nearly 10 years. Then the church held evangelistic meetings. Because her mother, a greeter for the meetings, didn't drive, the daughter drove her there. One night the girl stayed to hear the message, and after that she stayed for the other messages too. Near the end of the meetings, people were invited to come up to the front if they wanted to prepare for baptism. To many people's surprise, the young lady went forward. The mother's friends rejoiced that the girl they had prayed for so long was responding to the Holy Spirit. They continued to pray and praise God as she attended church and the pastor studied with her and her husband. They were baptized and now serve God as a pastor
got things to do, and now you have homework and stuff like that. But you know, learning is great exercise for this gray matter between our ears, or others are just going to sit there and go, whoa, and turn into junk. So learning helps empower. Isn't that great? It's like Energizer Bunny between your ears. That all that learning. Reading, writing, arithmetic, science, social studies, blah, 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 spelling, all that sort of thing. We get an opportunity to learn. We learn about our Creator. Do you learn about your Creator? Isn't that neat? You learn about how life works. There was a guy, probably 25, 30 years ago, who wrote a book that said, "We learned it all in kindergarten." A guy named Robert Bolden. And you'll probably see that some of his things are on plaques and on little posters, you know, some of the summary of what he said. But you know, school, whether it's kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. There's people that went to school 20th. Yeah, I could point them out. You know, we learn so much, but in kindergarten, we learn some very basics of life. Because it's not just about the academics, it's about learning about God, learning to work with others, learning to focus our attention. There's so many things we learn. And here's some of them that Robert said he learned in kindergarten. Now we could all learn from and remember today. Doesn't matter how old we are. It's been a long time since I've been in kindergarten. According to Manasseh, it's been a long time for him too. But here's some things we learn, even in kindergarten, that we should learn, carry with us the rest of our life. Share things. Be sure to share. Play fair. Play fair. Do it. Don't hit people. We learned that in kindergarten. Don't hit people. Put things back where you found them. Put things back where you found them in the same condition as they were. I think there's a lot of people, heads of different countries, that forgot this. You know? Sometimes adults forget these things. Put things back the way you found them. Clean up your own mess. Did we learn that in kindergarten? Clean up your own mess. Don't take things that aren't yours. Say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. Say you're sorry. Do adults do that too? Wash your hands before you eat. That's a good one. Always flush. Flush. Cookies and milk are sometimes good for you. It's good to take a nap. You know? Live a balanced life. Learn some, think some, wonder some, draw and paint some, sing and dance some, and play and work some every day. And when you go out into this world, watch for traffic, hold hands, and stick together. Yes, others are important. So these are some of the things Robert learned in kindergarten that reminds me, and I've got a plaque that I keep in my house. And in fact, I took a picture of it to share with you today, because I need to be reminded of those things. They remind us that
Bibles to Exodus 31. And there are a few Bibles if you don't have your Bible or your electronic Bible. Exodus 31. And we're going to look at verses 1 through 6. And if you'll show honor and respect to God's Word as we read it, if you please rise. And it says, Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, See, I have called by name Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur of the tribe of Judah. And I have filled him with the Spirit of God, in wisdom, in understanding, in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship, to design artistic works, to work in gold and silver and bronze, in cutting jewels for setting, in carving wood, and to work in all manner of workmanship. And I have appointed with him Oliab, the son of Ahisamach of the tribe of Dan. And I have put wisdom in the hearts of all the gifted artisans, that they may make all that I have commanded you. Bless the reading of God's words. You may be seated.
missing people, members today. Ludovic and Roger and a few more people. It's summertime, transition, so we might not have anyone. Glad that we are here. Remind you that this evening will be a family ministry Sabbath. Come and join us. And in 2 weeks, Great Men Got Talents. Would like to see something that we haven't seen before, or we've thought before. Please prepare something for that. In 2 weeks, Vesper, Great Men Got Talents. Song, poem, whatever you have. Send it to me so we can have a nice Vesper. Well, God is good. Today is family ministry. Hope we will connect that, and the lesson will be proof of calling. Proof of calling. As I told you before, when I was young, I was desired to serve God, already at a young age. And I was thinking that being a minister would be a good thing to do. How to be a minister, go to theology, and so on and so on. That was, I think, it's the calling. And they read the Bible and all of that. We thought in those times that when God calls, you need to be full-time ministers, paid at the conference, and all of that. So I had the desire, and some of you may have the same. But the question today is, what would be if I'm working and my vocation is in a secular world? Do we call that calling? Well, some of us may work for Walmart, and we find we might work for Food Wash or the county, post office, all of that. And we call that, I offer the job to work for this company. I offer the job to work for the hospital, for the spine clinic. The question that we need to answer is, am I called to that? The text that you read today, in Exodus chapter 31, verse 1 to 6, will clarify us that God calls you in a ministry, whatever your skill is. Whatever your skill is. And let's get into that text today. I invite you to open your Bible to verse 31. One time that we think that when we get into a ministry, that's the only way we can serve the Lord. We are full-time ministry. One time, a call committee responsible for seeking pastors for the congregation was having difficulty finding the right pastor. And after searching and searching, they had to make a decision, but one member of the committee was admitted, said, well, I am just, this is too long. She received a letter of introduction from a pastor who was interested in being called. She said, read the letter and said, to the pastor search committee, it is my understanding that you have a vacancy in your congregation. And they would like to apply for the position. Apply for the position. I can say that I preach very well. In fact, I tend to slaughter when I speak and get stuck for words. I do have a lot of experience in saying I'm over 75 years old. I have only just recently had an encounter with God. I heard a voice which told me personally that I was the one to be your pastor. One never knows when God will appear right before your very high. As far as people's skills go, I do tend to lose my temper every once in a while. Committee listen. I also am inclined to want things done in my way and can get impatient and cranky if it's not taken care of right away. Once I have killed somebody, but since I know you are gracious people, I know you will believe me when I say that all behind me now. I intend on showing up there in a few weeks to lead you into brighter future. Although I was reluctant at first to walk with you, I still feel called to be with you nonetheless. That was the letter. The committee looked at each other, glanced up at the rest of the group. Well, what do you think? Is this the right person to be a congregation leader at this time? Or not? The rest of the committee was horrified. I don't blame them for that. I'm an old man with no seminary training who is arrogant, temperamental, hear voices, ex-murderer as a pastor. Was this committee who signed the letter of introduction? Who had such colossal nerve? And God surprised us in so many times in the way He deals with people. This story shouldn't surprise us. Moses did not have the right qualifications. He killed someone. He had a temper. He didn't speak much. He's old. He was 8 years old when he was called to go and get Israel out of Egypt. Moses didn't have the right qualification from human viewpoint. But that didn't stop God calling him to serve the people of Israel. God still calls today. He calls you by name. Huh? He calls me to serve people within our God-given ability. Huh? Is it possible that God is calling you and calling me? What can we learn from Moses? Called to serve that might help us discern if God is calling us. Moses, when you look at the book of Exodus chapter 1 till the end, it's talked about Moses. Moses in chapter 2 verse 20, he mentioned about his first marriage. Let's look at the book of Exodus. Moses murdered someone. He left Egypt, fled to the desert of Arabia. When he was there, he was sitting on the well. When he sit on the well, a lady came, and a lady was trying to get water, was robbed by someone, and Moses was military. That time he was 40 years old. He was smart, strong. He drove away all those boys and helped this lady to get water. The lady came home sooner than expected, and the father, Ruel, the priest of Midian, said, "Why were your daughter came so quick?" And said, "A man, a strong man, helped me. He drove away all those gangs. And who is this man? Bring him home." Then from then, Moses got a wife. That's family ministry. Got wife. And his name is Zipporah. Exodus chapter 2, verse 20. We see some story about that. Verse 20, I think. What does it say? When they came in, and they say, and Egyptian delivered us from the hand of shepherds, and he also drew enough water for us and watered the flock. That was him. Verse 21st, then Moses was content to live with the man, and he gave Zipporah, his daughter, to Moses. He get married. When Moses was there, we don't know how long was he married. But in chapter 3 of Exodus, we know the story that now Moses was tending the flock, and what happened? The priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the back of the desert, and he came to Horeb, the mountain of God. He was in Horeb, and he saw a burning bush. Let me get you a picture here so you can really tell. We have a map. Here is Egypt, not the square. Egypt, Red Sea will separate Egypt. This is Africa. Here is Egypt. And here is the Red Sea, something like that. And from there, here is Israel. Israel. Note that when he left Egypt, he left from about Goshen, and he went to desert of Arabia, which is a cross. So he went so far, and he found Mary there. Now Moses was there, he found a bush that was burning, and he know the call and said, Moses, come deliver the people. That was in chapter 3. Then God called him, chapter 3. From there on, he had a mission. And so Moses proceeded and went to Egypt. We don't know, but when he went to Egypt, at age, he spent 40 years in the desert. He went back to Egypt. When he went back to Egypt, the Bible says he took his family there. Now, it's not only one son, but he has two sons, Gerson and who? Eliezer. He took his son and his wife went to Egypt. We don't know, but it was be said God or Aaron told them and said, hey, it's going to be a lot of for safety issue. Those family went back to Midian, to their parents. Went back. Moses was dealing with Pharaoh, trying to get the people out. He was afraid about the safety of his kids, led them back to Midian again. Now, we don't know how long that separation is, but finally, Moses was used by God to deliver the people. There were how many people? 600,000 just men, but actually, total with kids and everything, it's about 2.5 million. 2.5 million, and Moses was called to do that. Lead those people. Wow. Ellen White in the prophecies mentioned that when they left Egypt, there were people who were afraid of the plagues, wanting to follow those people of Israel. There were people who saw the blessing, wanting to follow them. So those people, that the Egyptians went into the rank of Israel, became a thorn for those people. Because they are the one who complained, the one who turned their eyes away from God. And so, well, that's the scenario, but let's go quickly to the story. Moses was there. His plan was to bring people out of Egypt. So let's do that. Travel. Where was that? Here is Egypt again. Here is the Red Sea. Here is Arabia. And here is Palestine. Israel. Egypt. So this is the plan, like this. God will bring them out of Egypt from land called Goshen, about here. And so go to land to take them to Israel. The quickest way is right here. But God did not use that. God led them down here, down south. Why is that? There will be those people of Israel were slaves, they didn't observe the Sabbath, they really don't have much understanding, they are not equipped. Although when they left, they get lots of possession from the Egyptians. Some of the Egyptians loved them and gave them. Some of the Egyptians, they claim their right and say, we are serving you for many years and we don't have those. And those Egyptians feared of God's punishment upon them, gave everything to those Israelites. So they have something, but the Lord, in His mercy and the providential, what happened here? He did not let Israel have the shortcut. Because the Philistines here. Philistines. The Philistines is a warrior and also felt if you go through there, Philistines said, these are the slaves that escaped the bondage, we're going to kill them. And since God's people are not prepared spiritually, God took them away in an ark. So according to the Bible, they went south. And let's talk a little bit about that. Moses was leading. Well, if you look at your Bible, then Exodus chapter saw that they went into the difficulties because here is a sea. This is Red Sea. Red Sea. God wants to prepare them spiritually. Number one, God wants to show them that I'm with you. God wants to tell them about the Sabbath. God wants to tell them about the commandment. God wants to tell them about sanctuary. God has to get that in place before they can get into Canaan. And this is the way God led them. When they get into the area, close to the cross of the Red Sea. Here I don't have sea, but you have to cross the sea. It says that it took 20 days it took them 44 days from here to Mount Sinai. 44 days. If you look at that, it's about 13 miles a day of walking day. 13 miles a day, 2.5 million people. It took them travel about 490 kilometers, about 300 miles from Goshen to Red Sea, from here to Red Sea. And God asked them to stop at the border of the sea. And when they looked, they'll see a sea in front, back is a mountain and desert, and they learned that the Egyptians are coming to get them. The panic is there, but Moses was confident that God is leading. God is leading. And so what happened is God appeared to Moses at night and said, do not fear. I will get these people across the sea, and the Egyptians that you saw before you will not see them again. Moses was encouraged, and we know the story. How to get there? Did Moses choose this route? No. When they depart from Goshen, during the day, what did they have? A cloud. A cloud that leading them, not only a cloud, but during the desert walk, which is very hard, the cloud will keep them moisture, protecting them. The sun that fire that will keep them warm and lead them into the land. So Moses was just following the cloud and the fire where God was leading them. If you accept God's call, don't worry about where you go. God will take care of that. God will take care of that. Sometimes you say, hey, I want to go this way, I want to go this way. What you need to do is accept His leading, and He will take care of where you need to go. And that's what is love. They stood in front of the sea and said, where God wants us to go. God wants us to go through this one. Sometimes the difficulties and God blocks in front of us and we say, oh man, why God lead me here? God wants to show His miraculous guidance for you. If you try to get away from that, you miss God's presence and leading. They were just at the Red Sea. God delivered them, and it didn't take long, a few days. Crossed the Red Sea, came into a place where called Mar, Rephidim, and so on. There are two of them, the wilderness of sin. If you look at those, then you can tell that there was some instruction that God gave them. Let's go. 45 days, Exodus 19, verse 1 to 2. 19, verse 1 to 2. It says, in the third month of the children of Israel has gone out of land Egypt. On the same day they came to the wilderness of Sinai. For they had departed from Rephidim, had come to the wilderness of Sinai, and camped in the wilderness, so Israel camped there before the mountain. 2.5 million of people camped. If we looked at that, it showed that the camp was about 5 to 10 kilometers. Huge. How did God, Moses, get his voice across 10 kilometers? But before they camped Mount Sinai, they were in Rephidim. There was a drop of no water. If you look at this desert, God brought them in a very difficult path. But there was no water. They were complaining about water. God showed them that at the mountain, the water was poured out. There was a water, but there was just bitter water. And God showed them that they can make that bitter water sweet. All of that. And in addition to that, they arrived at the place called the Wilderness of Sin. And we know what happened there. They brought lots of food, but by the time in 44 days, every provision was gone. And they complained to God about water, about the meals, and about all of that, especially those Egyptians who left and followed them. So God has something. At the wilderness of Sin, God started the manna. He poured the manna and instructed them about how important is the Sabbath. He taught them about the Sabbath, that the manna would not come on Sabbath. But only on Friday take 2 portions. The Jews for 400 years did not have a chance to observe the Sabbath. Now God reinstated the Sabbath to these people. How important is that? In the book of Exodus 31, chapter 15 or so, God emphasized again about that. Why is it important for each one of us to observe that Sabbath? Instruction about the Sabbath. And left there, they fought about the Amalekites. God were with them, and we see that there was a man, Aaron and Hur, was holding the hand of Moses. So they won. And Hur was not just, he is the husband of Miriam. So his brother-in-law and his brother was holding his hand. And we talk about her a little bit. But this was, God was preparing these people that I will be with you always. In the war, in the famine, in the difficulties, in the roadblocks, in many ways. If God calls, He provides. If God calls, He provides. Then they stayed in Mount Sinai. For how many days? The Israelites getting to Mount Sinai and surrounding the wilderness of Sinai for 11 months and 5 days. 11 months and 5 days. Why the Israelites took time and stood there, stayed there for so long? Because there is something. The book of Exodus in chapter 19, 20, all the way till the end was the Israelite in the Mount of Sinai. That's it. One of them, the verse that we read. Number one, how many times when Moses went to the Mount of Sinai and talked to God? How many times do you think? He said 2 times. God appeared to Moses 8 times in the book of Exodus. Went there, talked to God, and come down. 2 of them, Moses stayed for 40 days and 40 nights. 2 of them. So it's important. What happened in Mount Sinai? Number one, God showed them about the 10 Commandments that they did not know for 400 years. God instructed them twice. Moses went to God, and God showed him, the 2 tablets. He went down and broke that one because of the people. You know the story. He went again for 40 days and 40 nights and got the new one. And not only that, but God instructed Moses about the building of the tabernacles in details. And that's what we read today, the building of tabernacles. Moses was called. He could be greater than Joseph. Joseph was the prime minister of Egypt. But Moses could be the Pharaoh of Egypt. He could be the inherited Pharaoh if he stood in Egypt. But he said, no, I want to suffer privation with God's people. Let's go to our lesson as we are talking about proof of calling. Exodus chapter 31, verse 1 to 6. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, see, I have called by name Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, and the tribe of Judah. I called Bezalel. Name that we don't really know much. We know about Moses, Jeremiah, Abraham, but who is Bezalel? The only thing we can know is the grandson of Hur. Hur is the husband of Miriam, and Moses didn't choose him. God told Moses in the Mount of Sinai, this is the people you need to have. These are the plan of the sanctuary. This is how you make it. And the chief architect is this man. The tradition, Jewish tradition mentioned that this boy is about 13 years old when he was called to the chief architect. So young. Called. He might have said they cannot speak. He could have said they cannot lead. He could have said they cannot talk. God chose people. He said, I spoke to Moses, I see I have called by name Bezalel. God calls by name. Isn't that nice? Call you by name. Hey, Russell, I'm calling you. Hey, Meredith, I'm calling you. Hey, Lori, I'm calling you. What is God calling us? By name. So you can work for me. You may say, no, I am not working for the conference. I am not a minister. No. You may work anywhere, but this is the proof of calling. Filled with the Spirit. Huh? Number one. And have filled him with the Spirit of God. If you are willing to let God fill you with the Spirit, He calls you. There is no other qualification. Not age related. Moses was 8 years old when he's called. Jeremiah was so young. Isaiah was old. God calls no matter by name. If you are willing to be filled by His Holy Spirit. That's the number one proof of God. In wisdom, in understanding, in knowledge, and in manner of workmanship. The distinction between talent and gift are, if you have talent and use it for God's, it's a gift. And it says here, I have given him wisdom, understanding, knowledge, and all manner of workmanship, to design artistic work, to work in gold and silver and bronze, in cutting jewels, for setting and carving wood, and work in all manner of workmanship. God not only calls you, He fills you with the Holy Spirit, and He equipped you. God does not call the qualified, but to qualify the called. I told my kids, use the talent you have for God. And I told them to use it. God will multiply it. If you play piano, go use it. You wonder how God will use that and multiply that talent. Bezalel is the grandson of grandnephew of Moses. He came and then gave himself to the Lord, and God increased his ability. Number two, if God calls you, He will give you the ability. And do it well. Do it well. Christian, if you work for any institution in secular world, do it well. Use the powerful ability. Do it well. With excellence. To design. And I indeed have appointed with him Aholiab, the son of Ahisamach, the tribe of Dan. And I have put wisdom in the heart of the gifted artisans, that they may make all that I have commanded you. I put wisdom in the heart of all the gifted artisans. All of those people, Aholiab, Bezalel, the artisan, I put wisdom in their heart. Once we give ourselves to the Lord, He will give you the wisdom to the heart. One time when I was in high school, and I was there, and this boy talked to my sister and said, "Bell is not really, he's not good, he's not that smart. He just play a lot and God help him." They said, "Even better." I'm like not smart, but God help. We are. God enables us. God empowers us. God increase what we have. The skill that we have. If you are a health provider, give it yourself to God. God will help you with it. God is helping you, especially if you do it for His glory. If you are a student, study well. There are people who were not that smart. Then White was not, but God gave the wisdom to those people. Whatever you are, God calls you by name, wherever you are. Number 2, 3, God reassures us when He calls us. Hey, don't be afraid. I am the one behind you. He reassures us. He reassures us. Proof of calling. He just wants someone to give entirely themselves to the Lord. And God, Jeremiah was still, number 2, God called ordinary people. Ordinary people. Jeremiah was still a lad, didn't consider himself as one who stand up and speak out. Mary was just a young girl when she became pregnant. David was a shepherd boy, became a great king. Peter, James, and John were just ordinary fishermen with no evidence of leadership. what it is. You and I are people like that. Ordinary men. But God enables us. God calls you and me. Just ordinary people to serve Him in some way. He calls us when we least expect it. You may consider yourself as ordinary people with the lessons that you least of them. But it's God calling you. God may call you to be a caregiver to the sick and elderly, to a teacher of children, to support of young people, to lead in some kind, visitor of newcomers, whatever ministry is, at church, at work, at home. God will give you the ability to do it. God called Jeremiah when he was teenagers. He's calling you to be a peacemaker. He's calling you to go to the people who are needing help. He's calling you to let go slavery of anger, jealousy, of feeling anxiety. He's calling you to be spokesperson of someone who is crossing a wilderness of sickness and grief. God is calling us. And that is very reassuring. Is God calling you to become an expert in making excuses? We did the work here in the church, cleaning and getting things ready for school, work bees, and they have Hasna and Enoch with me, and we just trim the trees. And they got their pen and they said, well, this guy is a blessing. If you're part of this work of God, everything that you do, every leaf that you get out, everything that you do, think of it as a blessing, that you are called to do something. You are called to minister for God. You're called to do something for the Lord. Those are blessings. Don't let it down. Sometimes we look at the task in front of us as work, duties. God sees it as blessing. If you call Him, say yes. He might not call you as a really substantial, evident as Moses, but if He calls you to something at work, at home, this is His voice. Consecrate yourself to Him. Do it your best. His command. Assure His presence. And He will do what's necessary. Now, Moses was here. Where are the kids? God in providences helped them to reunite it at Mount Sinai. Moses went away this way. God didn't take there, but when they were there, in the book of Exodus, chapter 19, say that Jacob and the two sons and wife met Moses there. And we know the end of the story that the Jethro taught Moses how to deal with those people who are needing prayers. And so that was taken care of. Jethro told them, divide people into different and pray them, let the leader pray for them. So Moses and the kids were there, and Jethro stayed in Midian, and they camped across. God wanted them to just go and conquer Jericho. But the spy was so scared and came back and said, no, we cannot do it. And they have to go this way. I went to Jericho one time and I saw that it's just close to the Dead Sea. And that's the entrance into the Canaan land and the Palestine. The Israelites, despite of the miraculous sign God has done for them, they were afraid to cross Jericho. All those people, 35 and above, died in the wilderness, including those Egyptians. Probably Moses' sons were still alive, and they went into Canaan. If we don't have faith, our unfaithful nation perishes. God wants people to follow His directions, believe in His leading and His providences. May God bless you. If He calls you, He enable you, He empower you, He multiply the talent that's given to you, no matter what talent you have. Remember, God's the provider. Amen.
Could we go ahead and have the disc played for this song? It's on page 359. Hark the voice of Jesus calling. And would everyone stand for a closing song, please? Do we have the hymnal disc for this song? Bassina can't play it.
Terus masih continue? Ya, aku sedih. Este himlan. Trifir listim.
Say name it.